Welcome to the Phantom Zone.
All right, so John, you added a story for the Superman Family TV show that almost was. So where was this supposed to be on? Was this a Cartoon Network show?
I have like no idea. But basically, it was pitched as Superman Family. It was going to be an animated series. The art was really cool because the character design for it was by Sean Cheeks Galloway, who does like really incredible, like kind of cartoony, like throwback versions of superheroes.
I literally have one of his books behind me with his signature and a sketch in it.
Yeah, if you look up like Sean Galloway, he goes by like Sean Cheeks Galloway. Like you'll just see some like really fun, creative like kids artwork for like superheroes, and this looked like it was basically going to be pitched as like a Superman family book where the main characters were going to be Superman, Lois, Superboy, I assume Jonathan, and Crypto, but then like you had an extended cast of like Steel and Damian Wayne and Mr. and Missy Spicklick was in it. So it just looked like it was going to be like a lot of fun, and it just didn't happen. And who knows why? Because I mean, you know, I think it's like one of those things where, you know, DC currently has the DC Superhero Girl show that's like super popular. And I really like the new one with like Lawrence Faust. But this could have just seemed like a really good hour-long or, you know, half-an-hour block of DC cartoons. And you'd have like DC Superhero Girls, and then you have like this really fun, you know, Superman family book.
I'm kind of wondering if this was axed during the time where they were like, all right, Green Lantern, done. Beware the Batman, done. Young Justice, done. More Teen Titans, go. Which
I have the feeling that this was done like a little bit after that. Like,
okay,
I don't think this is necessarily like an old project that didn't happen.
That makes sense. No, I can see that. The art style looks very like, God, what am I looking for? It's not, I wouldn't say Disney-ish, but it looks like old, like...
It fits more with what they're doing now with the Superhero Girls show. I just lost it. I know you just said it. What is it called?
Oh, DC Superhero Girls, I think it was called, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of like it could fit into like that world.
I can see that.
As opposed to like the previous kind of generation of shows.
But like I also get the feeling that, you know, with DC aging up Jonathan Kent, Superman being a dad is not a thing that DC, I guess, wants him to be right now. So I imagine that was like one knock against it. You know, not having a stable platform for this. You know, because I assume this was like maybe pitched like about 2 years ago. At the very least, I assume like there was like a bunch of different factors for like why this thing get picked up. But it seems like one of the guys who worked on this pitch is currently working on the Harley Quinn animated series for DC Universe. So
well, good for him.
Yeah. Which if the app existed when this was pitched, I feel like that would be a perfect place for this.
You get that younger demographic in sort of thing?
Yeah, because I like that it's Soups, Lois, John, and Crypto. It's like a good team. And this is definitely like the what do you call it? The rebirth kind of family unit when they like did the amalgam, because they have like the female Steel. Oh, it would have been much like I would have enjoyed this show if it came out, but it's like one of those things that, you know.
Yeah, who knows what like DC kind of like wants with like Superman right now, and who knows what they want with, you know, their core DC to be in general right now, because, you know, we don't really know what's going to happen post Watchmen or Doomsday Clock.
You just reminded me when we were talking before you jumped on of like all these TV shows. Watching Game of Thrones, there is a trailer for like teases to watch. I was like, oh, I forgot that was a thing that's happening.
Yeah, and it's just like really funny. It's just like what shows DC ends up having sold the green light and get picked up, like Alfred or Krypton.
I honestly
or
keep forgetting
Gotham.
Alfred's a thing.
Oh, I forgot that Pennyworth show's coming out. Damn it!
But like this didn't get picked up, and it's just like, come on. Like, but like I kind of
it's like
that like DC. I mean, DC is always kind of like, it's like Teen Titans is like the one thing that like DC seems to know like how to market. But like other than that, like it's been a very long time since they've had a you know, and I guess like DC Superhero Girls does very well for them. But you know, I feel like this could have been cool. Like I feel like they have like a lot of project or characters that could make some really cool cartoons, but you know, there's no money to be made in animation, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost as if kind of post Deaniverse, nothing has really stuck. Well, there have been shows that stuck. They just like abandoned them for dumb reasons, including like the original Teen Titans, Young Justice, which those will come back. But it's like they have zero faith in anything except for I guess like the direct movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the only stuff that DC would have faith in, I feel like, is now their live action stuff with like CW and everything. Like, and yeah, like you said, the direct to video movies. If like Fathom Events is putting big screen events out for them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, also to be fair, like Shazam, I guess it's the most family-friendly DC film they've ever done, and
In a
that
while,
seems to
yeah.
be, and that seems to be very receptive for them.
I honestly can't think of another DC film, period, that's more family friendly.
I mean,
Probably since like the original Superman or Superman
what are
2.
you, Batman Forever and Robin?
No, they're still like a little weird and dark. And there's people there's
Yeah,
people
I
getting
mean, like,
shot and killed in them like all the
Yeah.
time.
I mean, here's the thing: so people get their heads ripped off or eaten in Shazam. So I think that and Batman, Robin are a little on par.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. There's like so I guess there's one, but we don't actually see most of it in Shazam. It's more.
I mean, Shazam, you full on see a dude's head like getting eaten.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I guess maybe my memory.
Yeah,
of
he
Batman
pulled a Venom. I didn't think I would get 2 superhero films in a row of where people get their heads eaten.
Well, it makes sense in Venom.
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump to the next thing. So Marvel's killing off more characters. So who's dead now?
Are they?
Yeah,
They killed off like an X-Man, but I don't know if we're allowed to say it since it's like supposed to happen about tomorrow. Hear that conclusion?
Yeah.
Oh, this was last week. Well, but here's the thing: they're like, oh, someone died, but you don't see the body, you don't see really what happened. It's just like they're like a psychotic linked together, and so it's like it could just be whatever.
Wildly, and that insurance is no expense bad.
Yeah. Someone's commercial.
I mean, maybe that's why she's mad because they have no life insurance for her, and that's why.
No, that was me pulling up the article and then the stupid video played. My bad.
No, it's fine.
I guess Joseph died, which might be news, but who cares about Joseph?
I know the name, but I can't even remember. He was like
Joseph,
a new X-Men, right?
Joseph is a clone of Magneto.
Oh,
he's like a 90s X-Men character that, like, even like within like the Discord group I'm in with X-Men fans, they're like, what? Joseph?
So he's like the shittier version of Strife to Cable?
I mean, yeah. Like, I haven't really read any stories with Joseph. I know him by infamy.
The only thing, anytime I hear like clones with Magneto, all I can think of is Zorn. I think that was the character's name. One with the metal helmet.
Yeah.
And that was like the most convoluted, bullshitty thing that they ever did.
Wait, I just heard Zorn, and I just think of that really crappy box at Com, but continue.
Oh, like I can't remember. Like Zorn was like 3 different people, I think, right? Or some dumb shit.
Yeah. So Zorn was So they thought so there's Zorn and then there's Magneto, but that was actually Zorn. But then it's revealed that Zorn has a twin brother named Shen Zorn. No.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it got really because they wanted it to be Magneto in the end, but then they were like, oh shit, this doesn't make any sense, and so they had to make a character who was able to make himself look like Magneto.
Yeah,
and then they gave him a twin brother.
Yeah, so Quinlan Zorn is the bad guy, Zorn, who pretends to be Magneto, but then Shen Zorn is the good guy Zorn, and they both happen to have the same power set of where they have a sun in their head and a bunch of other just like different stuff. But like having a sun in your head is like kind of this defining like character trait.
Which what does that mean?
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Quan Yin has a sun in his head, and Shen has a black hole in his head.
Oh, so they're opposites, I guess. Yeah. But what does that even mean? Like that's one of those like X-Men powers. Is like,
you're like, no, that's his power. Like, but why? You're like, no, I mean, it's cool, right? He has a black hole in his head.
Like the black hole makes more sense than the sun. Like the sun's like, okay, so it's hot and it's does it have gravity? It's like, what is a sun? Is just a star. Like it's a
now
tiny
I'm just
star.
having this image of this guy just like floating all the time because his head's like a black hole. He's just spinning around in air all the time.
I think I remember him floating around a lot.
That would make sense.
I think we are quickly Googling Zorn.
Oh, like Zorn has like a super cool look to him, and he's like a big Morrison character, and really, like Zorn is Magneto. Yeah. Stop. Like, Magneto is secretly Zorn, and then he does all this stuff, and then Magneto dies at the end of Morrison's run on X-Men.
And then wait, no, we can't have Magneto die.
And then they immediately retconned it to where they were like, oh yeah, that was actually not Magneto, that was Zorn pretending to be Magneto.
Yeah, because basically he got away with it where he has, like, all this metal on him, so that's why he's able to pretend that he has these abilities.
Which is like...
He can float. but yeah, he has like chains on his chest.
Which is just like the story of Grant Morrison on long-running comic books in general. Like when he's on this really great long Batman series, he introduces Damian Wayne, and then in the middle of the end of his story, they reboot the entire universe, and he kills off Damian, but then DC's just like, well, we feel like there's still money to be made in Damian Wayne, so we're gonna bring him back to life. It's like he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I wrote my story.
Yeah, which I think is like the best way for a writer to handle that. Is it's like, yeah, fans that are my fans, they know that that's my story, and I ended it. I'll move on. It's like, even if you go to Killing
This
Joke,
is the one you just posted here?
Yes.
He looks like a Power Rangers villain.
Yeah, I guess. I can see that.
Man, I really like the Morrison era X-Men costumes with the black and yellow.
Oh yeah, when they had like that new X-Men team where it was like him, Dust, Ink. I'm trying to remember who else was on that team.
No, it wasn't Ink. It was man, like Dust was on that team.
Yeah, it was Dust. I thought it was the dude with that got tattoos and stuff.
That was Young X-Men.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm mixing up like the new X-Men and Young X-Men of the time.
But like the new X-Men team was like the classic X-Men with Cyclops, Beast, Jean, Wolverine, Professor X, and then Emma Frost was like the new one. But then you also had the reintroduction of a bunch of other like new kids. Like you had like Quentin Quire, and that was a whole Riot Xavier's run with like Quentin and Glob and Angel and Beak and the Stepfords were also from that run too.
Oh yeah, the Cuckoos. Yeah, because this is all right before they did No More Mutants, I believe, right?
Yeah, that run went to about 2004.
Because I think this is when they were like...
And I want to say like House of M was like a year later.
Yeah, because I can't remember, because part of it, the Cuckoos end up with the Phoenix Force at some point, right?
Like years later, because...
Yeah, I think that's like the end kind of that run of stuff before House of M.
Yeah, and like a couple of the Cuckoos, I believe, like die during New X-Men.
I think only one of them was left after a while.
There's three.
Yeah, one of them turned and became like a bad guy, and then one of them did something else, and then they got really dumb and revealed that they were all clones of Emma Frost, and there's like 50 million Cuckoos. Yeah, that happened because comics and clones.
That was yeah. I'm looking at it now. It's Phoenix War Song.
Yeah, because they trapped the Phoenix inside of all of them because they were like, that's when they found out they were clones because they could all do the diamond thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wrote this? Who wrote that comic?
I don't know.
Who wrote Phoenix War Song?
While you're looking that up, let's pop to the next thing. So, Jane Foster's going to be the new Valkyrie?
Yeah, spoiler, by the way, for War of Realms #2.
Oh, it's on like every website, and they literally it's the title of the article.
I legit saw that story without reading War of Realms #2, and then you get to the end, and you're like, oh, okay. So War of Realms is also really good, by the way. It's probably like so far like the most fun I've had with a Marvel event since, or like an event. Marvel event since Secret Wars.
I will say, because I don't read as many comics as I should, and I need to fix that. But I feel like Jane Foster has been like having a lot of things happen to her in the last couple of years. Like first she's Thor, now she's Valkyrie.
Well, but this has all just been like a big story with Jason Aaron, like, and that's the whole thing with War of Realms. Like, War of Realms is a combination of Jason Aaron's like 5 years on Thor. Like Malekith is the big villain, like him putting together like this big villain crew of all the different realms has been building up since like the very beginning. And so like the stuff with Jane Foster Thor was also a part of his run. Like her having cancer, her like becoming Thor, like her like giving up being Thor, back to Odin's son. She's like no longer she no longer has cancer, but it's like this still like this, it's like the issue 2 is like a feeling of helplessness for her, where it's like she wants to help, she wants to do like these things
because she was a hero,
and because she was, and she had that taste, and she like wants to like help the people that she loves, and like issue 2 is like really cool. It's like Punisher like gets into a fight with Dark Elves, and it's awesome.
Wait, okay, you sold me on Punisher fights Dark Elves.
Oh yeah,
from what I've seen, like War of Realms is like 80s heavy metal comic.
Yeah, so like the first issue was like Malekith and the Frost Giants and the Angels of Heaven and like Heven, like where like Angela is from.
Okay.
Who's like Thor and Loki's sister, which is also revealed during his run of books. But so like all these different forces have like basically broke into New York and are basically taking over, the last realm on the
Midgard?
World Tree. Yeah, Midgard. Yeah, and so like all these guys start showing up. So like Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Punisher, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Like all these people like start like teaming up with the Asgardians to basically like fight mythological Asgardian and like villain, and it's great.
This sounds so ridiculously
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't like Cosmic Punisher part of this, or Cosmic Ghost Rider? I mean,
Ghost Rider is a part of it.
Robbie Reyes.
Robbie Reyes, yeah.
Okay, I thought Cosmic Ghost Rider was part of it too.
No, he's currently with like he's in space with Beta Ray and
He has Guardians.
they're still like hunting for like Gamora at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna spoil like a small like part of War Realms, and like the galactic brainness of this series. I think is so cool. Is I guess Heimdall is injured somehow, and the reason why like
his
we can't,
eyes.
his eyes, and so there's like this big thing where the Bifrost Bridge has been destroyed, and the reason why Malekith is able to traverse through these different realms is he's built his own Bifrost, and so they need someone to be able to take up the role of Heimdall, and they enlist Matt Murdock to be able to do it, and it's
With
so
Matt
fucking
Murdock
rad.
as the all-seeing, like...
Well, no, it's a great
Wait a
line
minute.
because they're like, if only he could see, and Matt Murdock is like, he makes a quip about sight issues.
That's incredible.
And there's also I don't really think it's a spoiler, but I really like when there's a really great part where I forgot the character, but they tell Daredevil that it's all right, the Avengers are here, and he's like, and it's just like She-Hulk, Blade, Cap, and he's very underwhelmed.
But yeah, so I mean, there's like a big fight at the end. Character like does like a valiant sacrifice. It's really good. And like Russell Donnerman does the art for it, and it's like,
Oh my god, the art is amazing.
It's like the best looking event book again since Secret Wars. It looks so incredible, and it's like he like draws like great action, and he's also drawing like all these heroes in such great like scenes. The only thing about it is like I think Spider-Man's not great in the book. Like it's like that kind of quippy Spider-Man you see in most like crossover event books where it's like he's got to get his shit in, and
it's like a little much.
Yeah, but it's cool. Like Al Ewing. So they announced a new Valkyrie book with Al Ewing and Jason Aaron co-writing it, and Al Ewing is just the like he is like so like good, and like I feel like
Ultimate.
not enough people know how good he is. Like his Hulk run's been great. Like he killed it on like the Ultimates like a couple years ago. Like his Loki Age of Asgard is so incredibly good. So like I have like no doubt that this book is going to be like written pretty well. But Kafu is doing the art, and so it's just like going to look incredible.
Going back to Russell Donnerman,
Mm-hmm.
if I were Tom Hiddleston, I'd be like, hey, where's my royalties?
Oh,
I haven't heard this stuff, but from the hype y'all making, it sounds like they could base a lot of this on that Loki show coming out.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, the Loki show is going to be like, trying to think how to word this, kind of Quantum Leap-esque, where he's like, it's Loki in time fucking with history. Like,
Yeah, different
Oh,
points
fuck
in,
yeah, man.
in human history.
yeah, so it's like, oh, this event happened in human history, but here's the real story behind it. Loki was like dicking around.
Oh, fuck, I'm in.
Yeah. So, all right, let's pop to the next thing, which is Kamala Khan's getting a new costume. Which,
Yeah, I saw it. Is this for like a storyline costume or?
yeah, so it's gonna hit in July, and then she is going to. It appears that it's going to be like an upgraded costume. So, because in the comics, her costume is currently like they built it in the high school, right?
Well, it's her. Like I forget the exact wording of it, but it's like
it's
her.
not
it's like
not unstable molecules, but it's basically unstable molecules, right? right? Like Mr. Fantastic style.
Yeah, but like also like the semblance of her costume is like also, you know, plays back to like her like traditional like Muslim clothing.
Oh yeah, it was. What was it? A burkini?
No, I don't even like want to like try and like guess it out of the process of my brain, you know.
Yeah,
but it's like
I remember reading part of it where it was like she was trying to find like her like it was like a swimsuit thing that was like able to cover all. Which like in the new design, I do like the aspects of it. Like I like that it's different than the original. Like her other was so derivative of Carol Danvers' Ms. Marvel. This is like a little bit more standoutish on its own.
Oh, it's like the OG like Miss Marvel costume, like Kamala Khan costume, is like one of the best modern costumes like of like the last 10 years. Like it's super different. It's like one of those costumes you can just like pick out of a lineup. Yeah, it's great. It's like an all-time great costume.
Yeah, this new one doesn't seem like it didn't change like a whole lot. It just I guess it's like a little bit more adultish on her. It's like in the one design image, like it looks a little bit more grown-up-ish, but then in the other image, so I guess that's when maybe she's gotten the costume. It looks a little bit more techy too because they put like those new 52 lines on it.
Yeah, I think that's like what the thing about it was. It was like I don't like the individual like armor pieces of the look, but yeah, if this is like for like a story arc, which like it's fun, it's cool. Like we didn't talk about it, but Squirrel Girl is getting a new costume for the War of Realms event because her and her team are going to go to the land of the Frost Giants and fight there. So she got like a special
like winter outfit
that looks really fun.
She's like a snow squirrel.
Yeah, I'll pull up the costume.
All right, so we'll pop over while you're pulling that up to the next thing, which is the creators of New Mutants are apparently reuniting for a new story. So Claremont and somebody, please help me with this name.
Bill Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz? Okay, yeah. So that is actually pretty interesting. Oh my god, this outfit is hilarious.
Yeah, well,
so big.
Yeah, this is the.
Oh, sweet God.
Oh, so yeah, the Squirrel Girl costume is great. She has like this snow hood that still makes her look like a squirrel. And she's got this really cool coat with like this fur on the top, and it's got like nuts on the side of it, like acorns.
Yeah, like on the shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool costume, and I'm like, oh, like this is like a fun 5-issue costume for this event.
Although the only thing I really love the cartoon design of her so much.
Oh, it's great.
I wish they would like kind of lean the comic version to that more. But you know, she's been around for forever.
Oh, the Marvel Rising design. Yeah,
Marvel Rising is one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do like this design of it. I like that it's like the mask thing is like everything is a squirrel face except for like her eyes are out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks like all of her stuff like she could have bought like at GameStop. But yeah, so back to the other stories. So yeah, the Demon Bear
team is doing a new Mutants book, which is cool.
Yeah,
I've heard the Demon Bear. I think that's the basis for the movie, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Possibly, yeah.
Whenever this thing's coming out.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that movie for whenever it comes out. I feel like I might be like the only one, but
no, I'm right there with you. I am still excited.
Yeah, the New Mutants movie. Who knows when that comes out? I know they said it's this year.
Disney said it's still on the schedule.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're not going to put any money into it, but yep.
New Mutants. It's like Doomsday Clock. You don't know when it's going to happen.
Nah. I'm guessing they'll see like, oh look, there's buzz from like that one actress is in Game of Thrones, so we'll pick a date.
I think she's Wolfsbane. I could be wrong.
She is Wolfsbane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Maisie Williams is in that one, and then what's her name that plays Sansa's in the other one?
Dark Phoenix.
X-Men.
Yeah. Dark Phoenix. Yeah. Yeah, because they talked about like how we're both in these movies that kind of died that we both shot like 4 years ago.
They still got paid for it though, so they don't care.
Yeah.
The girl from Split's in New Mutants.
Oh yes, she's in it. It's her. It's the older brother from Stranger Things. I'm blanking on somebody else in it.
Sunspot.
Alice Braga.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Antonio Banderas is supposed to be in it.
As what?
Mr. Sinister, supposedly.
Oof. That's not.
Well, apparently this was changed because John Hamm was supposed to play him, but then they did reshoots.
That's even worse.
I've heard like basically
John Hamm is a perfect Mr. Sinister.
I feel like he's almost too big. He's almost too like muscly.
No, Mr. Sinister's like built. He's like perfect. Like he made himself into like basically unbeatable.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know. In my mind, like Mr. Sinister has this like very like shitty like New Englandy accent. Like he's just like very like hyper proper.
Sounds like
he's like British, isn't he? Like he was British when he was still human.
Nathaniel Essex. I thought he was like a colonist or something.
No, he was like a scientist with like Charles Darwin.
Oh, I don't know if John Hamm could do a British accent. See, in my mind, like a good one would have been like Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, they were playing Black Mask at DC, so they're probably like, only a few can do both, not everybody.
That's another movie that I'm like, oh, I forgot that's a thing.
No, you can forget it. You can go back to forgetting about it.
All right, we're bouncing around to stuff, so let's go to, so we got 2 Spider-Man things. So first one is a new retcon for Mysterio. I'm guessing this is gonna, when these things kind of happen before a movie comes out, it makes me think that there's gonna be like,
they're gonna attach it to the movie.
It's like specifically to like do stuff that is gonna fix the movie. So the retcon is basically that Mysterio was gonna like turn his life around and like go back to making it like his own like independent like
effects studio,
and he was like pissed that everything was all like digital and wanted stuff to be practical. And then Black Suit Spider-Man just beats the shit out of him. Like, he just breaks in and beats the shit out of him. He's like, "Yeah, you're not fooling anybody." And he's like, "Oh, well, I guess I can't change."
Just picturing Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the black suit beating the shit out of Mysterio
and snapping his fingers. Yeah, but apparently, like, this is supposed to be like the original Secret Wars kind of time period that he flashes back to. Like when he got the black suit way back past.
Oh yeah, this book sounds stupid.
Hey, you're the Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, I'm not reading Superior or not Superior, Symbiote Spider-Man. Like it's like I'm already like 15 issues deep on Hunted on Amazing Spider-Man. I don't need like another Spider-Man book in my life.
No man. But this other Spider-Man story is actually kind of awesome. You were talking to us about it before, John.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for this one. So it's been known at this point that the Spider-Man PS4 game, which if you have not played, it's amazing. Play immediately.
It's okay.
It has.
I know I am like in the far minority on that hot take.
Yeah, I'm gonna strong disagree on that take with it right there. Anyway, so they've included a bunch of PS4 little Easter eggs, but this big one that no one noticed until this developer, his name is, I'm reading the name here, Elan Ruskin, says that it involved the pedestrians, specifically Orthodox Jewish pedestrians. If you play the game on a Saturday, those NPCs do not show up because it's a reference to the Sabbath and how many Jewish individuals will not go to work or go out on Saturdays. Which, I mean, I just think that's a nice little detail they included in that, and it kind of makes me appreciate the game.
That's so deep and shows like how, like, that is an awesome Easter egg. They're like, oh, that's like how much thought some people put in.
Yeah, like you don't have NPCs show up on Saturday to represent the religion. That's a cool thing you included to represent a city filled with so many diverse people.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great thing. I'm a fan of that game, and that is definitely something I wouldn't have picked up. I actually didn't even notice that there were like no,
I didn't either. And I would spend some days just walking around the city high fiving people.
Yeah, so that's definitely awesome. Popping over to our next one. So Jay, oh my god, I'm terrible at names.
Jay Faber
is joining the Supergirl writing team, and he's written on a ton of stuff. I don't know if any of you have been keeping up with Supergirl this season.
I have, like, but I'm not as caught up as I am. Like, I know it just came back, but I didn't see the new episode.
Okay, like, it is my comeback show of, like, this year for CW.
Oh, it's definitely been better, especially we have Sam Witwer in there now.
Yeah, it is. I love the idea of the story they're going with, so getting some other great writers in there is nothing, like, awesome. That's just awesome.
Are they joining for this season or next season, did they say?
It showed, like, him coming on, or Alan, you shared this thing, so is it for this season, I'm assuming? Because he showed, like, a placard, that he's already there. So they kind of write, from what I've heard, is like they kind of do like a big outline for the seasons, and then they kind of fill the stuff out as they're going, because they kind of film like several weeks ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so by this point,
if he just got hired, I'm guessing he's like working on stuff already for this season.
Yeah, if not like for the ending, then maybe for like next season.
Actually,
going in.
Some like I follow some of the people from like some of the stars of the girl on Instagram. They actually wrapped most of them wrapped for the season.
Okay. So I guess
most of the stuff is going to be working towards next season.
Okay,
that would make sense given that they're probably. I mean, I don't know what the shows are going to do with given that Crisis is coming, but I don't know if they're all going to like start building into it because it's going to be the biggest thing that network's done.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be wondering if they'd be bringing in more comic guys to help flesh out the comic-y parts to get ready for it.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, so
Hey, at least it's this and not God just friended me.
Oh, I have not seen that show, but I know of it.
so the next one you posted, Alan. So Mark Waid is coming back, or no? He's asked the court to dismiss a lawsuit. I don't know anything about this.
I mean, it's a thing.
Oh, it's a thing. Okay.
It's basically the guy who's like we talked about this a long time ago.
Yeah. Do you want like a I can do like a minute breakdown?
Yeah, because I don't remember this at all.
Okay, so Richard C. Meyer is a total like bad guy who works for a bunch of other gamergators, including Ethan Van Sciver, Reverse Flash, Diversity in Comics, a bunch of just scum, a hive of scum and villainy. Richard C. Meyer, though, had a comic called Jawbreakers that made some money on Kickstarter, was going to get published by Anarch Press. Anarch Press announced it. And then about 2 days later, Anarch Press said that they were not going to publish it anymore. And Richard C. Meyer thinks that Mark Waid called up Anarch Press to tell them not to publish their book. And so Richard C. Meyer is suing Mark Waid for it. But Mark Waid is now asking the court to dismiss the case.
My mouth is just slowly dropping to the floor trying to follow this saga. Like, what?
Yeah,
I'm getting updates because I pledged or I supported his Mark Waid's GoFundMe.
Oh, to pay for like the legal stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's basically just this clearly mentally unhealthy guy has a bad conspiracy theory.
So he's just saying Wade's just saying it's a frivolous lawsuit and asking the court to toss it out.
Pretty much.
Richard C. Meyer films himself reading female-centric comics and then like crumples them up or rips them in half or like takes a knife and he cuts through them and then he like throws them across the room. Like the guy is like so complete crazy.
So he's like a super incel kind of guy.
Yeah, him and Ethan Van Sciver and the whole lot of them. They are gross.
All right, so let's talk about John Cena is joining the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, possibly.
Yeah, he's reportedly in talks, which, I mean, it doesn't mean that we can't get it, but it makes me sad that we might not be able to get what my perfect casting for John Cena would be, and that would be John Walker, the U.S. agent.
Oh, that would be.
You want to know my John Cena casting? It's not even in DC. I would want him as the Thing.
Oh, in the Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
Oh, he would actually not be terrible at that.
No, I can see him doing a very good job as the Thing.
Yeah, but John Cena's from Boston.
Yeah, people would bitch that he wouldn't have the accent and that he's not British.
I mean,
that's the word we live in now.
Everything has to be complained about.
Yeah.
Well, no. It's funny because I was like initially because like John Cena's whole character, he's from Boston, Massachusetts. Like he's a Sox guy, and I'm like guy from Boston playing a guy from Yancey Street. Yeah, no, thank you.
I mean, I don't know how we're gonna see him in this movie.
Most likely, I would say that I can't even remember the character's name, but the army guy, like the guy that's running the team.
I mean, if he played King Shark, I wouldn't be opposed either. I know Gunn wanted King Shark.
Yeah, I think like John Cena is like the kind of guy who maybe is at this point like doesn't want to get like necessarily typecasted as like
army
the army guy. So I don't know. Like, I mean, there was that idea that the Suicide Squad was going to be like a complete total like rebooted team where you have like some guys who return like a boomerang, but for the most part, it's going to be like a whole new team, which I think is like kind of like good. Like, I think that's like speaks more to the spirit of Suicide Squad.
But they're also recast Deadshot with like another guy.
Well, no, I think they said it wasn't Deadshot. It's a different character.
Okay, so they changed the Deadshot. So the article says that the people think that he's up for the role of Peacemaker.
That was actually that's the character, or that's the role that
Batista was up for.
Yeah, I think Gunn was wanting Batista for that role if they were not going to do Guardians first. So like Batista would have probably done that role, then gone right onto Guardians as Drax.
Yeah, I mean there was that rumored Suicide Squad team lineup that was all weird. Like they had Ratcatcher and shit on there. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna even pretend like I know who Peacemaker is. So I'm like, yeah, whoever you guys want to have on this team, sure.
Peacemaker. I read the description and I just sat there. I'm like, okay, okay, in Batista's hands, that could be really, really funny because he loves the idea of peace so much he kills for it.
Peacemaker is actually who is he or was the inspiration for what's face from Watchmen? The comedian.
Rorschach? Oh, the comedian.
Ozzy?
No, comedian.
Yeah,
Comedian.
he looks like
He's
Orion.
a Charlton character.
Yeah. Oh, like here's a picture. He looks like Orion, like from the New Gods, except with guns.
Oh, wow. He does look like Orion.
Yeah, there's a couple other versions of him, but he kind of always has this like big ass goofy helmet, and then other ones he looks kind of like Deadshot.
Wow, they even had him in Justice League Unlimited.
So again, like, okay, Cena could be fine for it, but that's why I can see Batista. I just feel like the comic timing with a character like this could be work well for him.
Mm-hmm. But like Cena's funny. Like he was really good in Trainwreck. I have not seen Blockers. Where
I think I need to see Blockers again because like I thought it was funny, but like I think I would probably appreciate more a second time around. I will say though that John Cena was funny in that movie, and he was good at Bumblebee.
Yeah,
I was expecting you to say you were having problems with the actual video file and you couldn't see him.
No. Just thank you. Someone caught that joke.
Yes.
I was waiting, hoping someone would catch that.
All right. So our next thing is the creator of Lone Wolf and Cub passed away.
Yeah. So he was the creator of like Lone Wolf and Cub. He also created Samurai Executioner, Crying Freeman, Lady Snowblood. So yeah, he's like pretty prolific, big, shonen manga guy.
Yeah, I've heard of Lone Wolf and Cub forever because I feel like weren't they trying to make a film for a long time?
Yeah, I think they've tried like a couple different times. I want to say that they've made them like overseas. But
yeah.
It's like most of like a little bit of Sekiro is basically Lone Wolf and Cub.
Criterion Collection, if I'm not mistaken, has a whole box set of the Lone Wolf and Cub movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really delved into Lone Wolf and Cub because I'm not a huge samurai guy, but I do know his work from being a young preteen boy going to Blockbuster and renting Crying Freeman, which just was fucking wild. Because basically, like, I don't know if you guys know about Crying Freeman.
No, I never heard of this.
It's basically a guy who kills people with like martial arts, and he like fucks women and then cries about it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like also just like super kind of porny, but like also it's like high intensity like martial arts. It's basically it's like if you took like Fist of the North Star and mixed it with modern kung fu, where he's just like a badass, but like
okay. I was looking at the images. I was like, oh, this looks like Mark Dacascos. It is Mark Dacascos or Dacascos, whatever, from Double Dragon and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and
the upcoming John Wick 3.
Yes, and he was also the chairman on what we call Iron Chef America. Oh man, but he's been in millions.
Oh, are you familiar with the Japanese Iron Chef?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember watching some of it when I was younger.
I recently just found out, like yesterday, that the Iron Chef Italian like died in March.
What?
Wait, what?
He like slipped and fell and hit his head and died.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So, sorry that like took such a turn, but like that was like I was like, wait, have you seen Iron Chef? Let me tell you this really sad story I just found out about.
Yeah, I'm just still looking through like Mark Dacascos' IMDb. I'm like, oh, he was in an episode of Lucifer. I don't remember that episode. I might have to go back.
Wasn't he on the new Hawaii Five-0 too?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's like he was like a hot guy for a second in like the late 80s, early 90s when he did the trying to find the name of the movie. Oh wow, he was in the Flash TV show, like the 90s one. But he
seems like one of the big karate guys now.
Yeah, before when the hell is the movie? Because he did the big thing was he did that Brazilian movie about capoeira. And that was his really big movie, and I can't remember the name of it.
I'm like looking at all of his movies that he's been in, and I just see
he was in the Kickboxer 5.
He was in Cradle to the Grave, which I will argue is an entertaining as hell movie.
Yeah, he's in the amazingly terrible Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, is that the one with Marlon Brando, where Marlon Brando loses his mind?
He's the Asian cat guy.
What? I didn't know that was him.
Yeah. He's just like one of those guys that's in everything. He was in the Crow TV series.
Wait, there was a Crow TV series?
It might have been animated.
No, this was live action, I think.
Oh, yeah, and he was the Crow.
Yeah, The
He was
Crow,
the Eric Draven Crow too.
Stairway to Heaven.
I don't know any of these other people in this movie, in this TV show. He looks good as the Crow. Like, he's doing the Brandon Lee.
Oh, he was
one.
Kung Lao in that Mortal Kombat web series from a few years back.
Oh, that's good. The one with Michael Jai White.
Yeah.
What did this air on?
I don't know. It has 22 episodes.
It's from Canada, so probably like Canadian television.
Oh
I mean,
my
it has
god,
to be-
someone died on the set of this also!
Oh my
A
god.
special effects explosion went wrong during the filming on August 15, 1998, when a stuntman was struck on the head and killed by flying debris.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Oh my
this is why we should never have this Crow reboot happen. Like, no.
Well, that's because what really happened with what do you call it, with the Brandon Lee is that he was killed by the Chinese mafia when they put a curse on their family name.
I've heard about this.
Oh, the Bruce Lee
Okay, so
conspiracy
before
theory
this, I just want to point out that this TV show had tracks from Rob Zombie, The Crystal Method, The Painkillers, and a pre-fame Linkin Park, then known as XERO Zero.
Oh wow.
Whoa, the third Crow movie had Kristen Dunst.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Which one is the third one? I don't think I've seen the third one.
That's The Crow Salvation.
I did not see that one. There's 4 movies, I think, right?
No, 3.
But like one of them has
I've seen
John
the second
Connor
one.
in it.
Oh no, shit! No, never mind. There is a fourth Crow with Edward. Yeah, Edward Furlong as the Crow.
Yeah, the second one is with the dude. I can't remember the one guy's name, but he was on Law and Order for like forever, and he's the bad guy in the second one.
Oh my god! Wait, I'm looking at this cast. It had Edward Furlong, Angel from Buffy, Tara
Oh
Reid,
god! Wow.
Dennis Hopper,
What?
Emmanuel, Danny Trejo,
Wait, were you gonna say Emmanuel Chikorita?
Chikiri.
Yeah, it's also known as E's girlfriend from Entourage. It's the
Yeah.
only credit that anybody cares about.
I mean, she was in that movie Snow Day with Chevy Chase, but that's just me.
She was also in the movie with Lance Bass. In the
Oh yeah, and Zohan.
Oh yeah, she is in Zohan. Oh my
Wait, that
God.
movie. Oh god, that movie with Lance Bass. I remember that now.
Yeah, they did that on
Fun fact.
How Did This Get Made?
That's Snow Day movie.
No, that and On the Line. I think is what he's talking about.
Yeah, what'd you say, Alan, with the Snow Day movie?
That was supposed to be the Pete and Pete movie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder
Wait,
if they've
what?
talked about it. They have a podcast. I wonder if they've
Oh,
talked
Snow
about
Day?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do know that. Like, yeah.
I did not know that. What?
Yeah, I want to say I heard that on, like, Pan Pizza's Rebel Taxi podcast at one point, and I just, like, was... Yeah, oh, I know exactly where I heard it. It was Pan Pizza is doing, like, a retrospective of all the Nickelodeon movies, and he was talking about it in his Snow Day review.
What's this called? Is this a podcast?
Yeah, I'll find the video and I'll put it in the...
I wonder if
but-
they've talked about it, because they actually have a podcast with each other.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Okay, I'm instantly subscribing.
Yeah, the guys that play Pete and Pete, there was Danny Tamborelli, and I don't know what older Pete's name is. They have a podcast together. I think it's on the same network as How Did This Get Made?
On Earwolf?
Yeah, I think it's part of Earwolf. I'm trying to think, which that show has had like,
Oh, The Adventures of Danny and Mike.
yes. But like How Did This Get Made has had some like real interesting guests the last couple of episodes.
Yes, they had like Topher Grace. They had
What do you call it? Harry Potter.
they had Daniel Radcliffe, which was out there.
Yeah, they reviewed the Daniel Radcliffe ones also, because they reviewed that really weird Jackie Chan
John Cusack movie,
John
or no, Adrian
Cusack
Brody.
Chinese movie. Oh my god. Oh
Uh,
yeah, and Topher Grace, they watched The Secret, which was not the one about the thing. It's the David Duchovny like French movie.
yeah, I heard about that one. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the
Trying not
Snowman
to-
one. I've seen the Van Helsing one.
Oh, I've seen Van Helsing. Van Helsing is such a hilariously terrible movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I almost, yeah, like, I fell asleep watching Van Helsing when it was, like, out in theaters.
It's a long movie. It's like a 2-hour and change movie.
It's, like, so long, and it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be like the first version of them kicking off the Dark Universe.
Yeah! I was just gonna say that!
Yeah.
Oh god, I forgot that Van Helsing was supposed to mean something in the long run.
Yeah, it's the first time they tried to kick it off. The second time was when they had was it Dracula Unchained?
No. The
Yeah,
second time was that Wolfman movie with Benicio del
No,
Toro.
that's the third one.
No, Dracula Untold was 2014. The Wolfman was 2010.
Really? I thought
Yes.
it was the other way around. I still have
God,
not
that
seen
Wolfman movie is so bad!
The
It's
Dracula
so...
Unchained is
It's
not-
horrible, but the makeup isn't amazing.
Yeah,
for
which
Wolfman?
makes the movie even worse because people actually, like, put a
Tried.
lot of effort into it.
Poor Rick Baker.
Yeah.
The Dracula one is not that bad. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like weirdly being historic.
The Luke Evans one?
Yes.
I was bored. Like, it's fine.
It is another movie that's really long, but it also has like a good cast because it's Luke Evans, Dominic Cooper,
I'm looking right now.
what's his name?
Charles Dance, Tywin Lannister.
Yeah, Tywin Lannister is in it. He plays like the old vampire. And that was their third reboot, or their third time setting up until the Mummy.
I never watched this because I just thought like the trailers made it look like so incredibly lame.
The Dracula Untold. When they finally, the thing is, it takes like an hour and a half for him to get superpowers.
There's a Wikipedia entry for reshoots for Dark Universe.
The best part of the Dracula Untold is like they have an after credit scene where it takes place in modern time.
Oh god, Dracula was going to be their Captain America.
Oh, 100%.
Oh god, I'm just picturing Dracula being the Captain America, and then he's like Luke Evans and Tom Cruise, the two people you've always wanted to see team up together.
The weirdest part of the Dracula Untold is they do the whole historic part of like Vlad Dracul, where he was like sold into slavery to like the Turks and got raped for like 30 years. Like that is part of the movie plot.
Okay, so I'm just like going into the Dark Universe now, and I'm reading like the official statement on Bride of Frankenstein, and I love Universal Pictures' reading of the statement. After thoughtful consideration, Universal Pictures and Bill Conner decided to postpone Bride of Frankenstein. Translation: Dark Universe fucked up, so we can't do this anymore.
Which it like kind of sucks because like of all of them on paper, Billy Condon, the director or like the writer for Chicago and Kingsley and
directing
like,
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, directing Bride of Frankenstein is kind of cool.
And the Frankenstein monster was going to be Javier Bardem, and I can't remember.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Because they did that picture. I don't know if they ever cast the bride though. Because it was.
No. But you know what? I could see it being like because he's married. I could see it being like Penelope Cruz.
I know that because what was it? It was Johnny Depp was the Invisible Man.
Oh yeah, they're doing a new one. I think with the guy he co-wrote Insidious and Saw.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. I have the picture pulled up now because it was Tom Cruise as the mummy, and then the other girl, Russell Crowe, was Mr. Hyde. Which is funny because he's not Jekyll and Hyde is not a Universal monster.
I like that technically because of like the listings of like the remakes and the Universal like movie monsterverse that the Scorpion King is technically a Universal movie monster.
Oh yeah, because he's part of the mummy. Hey man, of all of the series of the Universal Monsters, Brendan Fraser did it right. He did 3.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Universal Monsters, I think Jason Blum is going to be doing it next because he's producing the Invisible Man remake.
Oh, yeah. And then with who?
Johnny Depp's not going to be playing him, and they're going to guy Creed and co-wrote Saw and Insidious with James Wan directing it.
Yeah, but I watched Hollow Man, and Hollow Man's not good.
It's fine for the time period.
It's got Kevin Bacon. It's A-okay in my book.
It's got Kevin Bacon invisibly raping people, which...
But it's not even, like, good Kevin Bacon, like
Tremors
or something.
Hey, it's better than Hollow Man 2. Hollow Man 2 is a...
Yeah, it's not old. It's not young Kevin Bacon, and it's not old Kevin Bacon where he became good again because he's all grizzled.
It's just
I forgot Josh Brolin's in that movie.
I don't know, man. Like, I think like the Dark Universe is like such a fucking ambulance chasing like of a franchise. It's like they're like
Universal.
They don't know what
like
they
we
want.
don't have anything.
Yeah, it's like we have a franchise. Like everyone's got franchises. Like let's see what we can do. Let's just do what like everyone else is doing. Like make it like super unoriginal. And like it's no one wants like Dracula Untold like did not do numbers. The Mummy like super bomb, and it had like Tom Cruise in it, who's like still kind of a bankable star.
Well,
so
I would argue that he's not really. I mean, the only things that make him money is the Mission Impossible these days.
Jack Reacher.
I'm surprised they didn't.
Didn't Jack Reacher 2 bomb like horribly?
Yeah,
I don't
believe
know.
so. I'm surprised they didn't go with a Namor universe.
Because I think their rights on Namor are like real wonky, like the same with the Hulk. So I think they can only do like a solo movie similar to Hulk, but like it's
for which character?
So Universal still holds the rights to the Marvel characters Hulk and Namor for solo movies.
Right, and I think that Hulk, they did that. I think they have a deal like what Sony has with Marvel, where they license the character.
Yeah, sort of. Like Marvel still has the right to do like any sort of team up, but they can't do a solo film. So that's why Ragnarok is like the closest we'll really get to a solo film, unless the Universal just sells them. But
and then there's that rumor that Namor is going to be in Doctor Strange 2.
It would be interesting. I since they have the Fantastic Four back and the mutants back, you kind of need those two elements to have Namor do anything because he's the first mutant and he's basically an FF element.
No, exactly. But the thing is that I don't think Kevin Feige is doing mutants or Fantastic Four for a good while. He said.
He said mutants. I think Fantastic Four is much closer to being on the horizon.
That would make sense.
It's only four. It's only like 4 characters and like a couple villains, as opposed to like an entire.
I always said when I saw Spider-Man: Homecoming, that's when they moved out of the Avengers Tower, the original one. I'm like, okay, cool. That's gonna be the Baxter Building, right?
Yeah, they could do a million things. They could literally have them like just pop out of the negative zone at the end of a movie.
Yeah,
I mean, an entire universe is about to be rewritten. So
yeah, or you can just like have the end of Endgame be the Surfer looking on.
Wow,
that's enough, right?
Oh my god, if the Surfer showed up, I'd lose it.
Yeah, if you just like if it just pulls out of Earth and they're like all high fiving and eating shawarma, and then you just pull out to like the Surfer just like standing there,
and it's
like,
Doug Jones and Lawrence Fishburne doing the voice again.
Okay, well, Doug Jones, I'm down for anything because man's a goddamn.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll be honest. Lawrence Fishburne as a Surfer was like not the worst thing about that scene.
Oh no, and the design wasn't terrible.
No,
the script was.
Yes, everything else.
And Galactus' design.
Oh yeah, well they did. It was, I don't know what was going on at that time period where like giant evil space villains had to be clouds of smoke because like Green Lantern and that did the exact same thing. I was like, what? Who is
going behind the curtain a little bit? Can that be a topic, like worst designs for like costumes and everything, and like?
Oh yeah, we can definitely. I think we did like worst costume redesigns once, but we can definitely like revisit it because there's an infinite amount of bad designs.
Yeah, because I could think of quite a few that were
yeah. When we were talking about all the Universal monsters, it reminded me that there was a Sci-Fi USA Network show back in the 2000 of using the Invisible Man as like a secret government agent.
What?
Like, yeah, it's basically they did like a Suicide Squad thing where they took a criminal who was a thief and they injected him with like a test thing that he could turn invisible and not invisible, and he was like a super secret agent. But then they could also kill him at any point.
I'm looking at this right now. Yeah, Invisible Man 2000 series starring
nobody.
Vincent Van Tresca. What has he done? His claim to fame, he's Fun Bobby on Friends.
I don't know who that is. Like, it's literally a show I just remember. It's like one of those shows that I remember existing.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I'm looking at the thing, and the only face I really recognize is Paul Ben-Victor.
Oh, he's on The Wire.
Which guy? The star?
No, the guy you just mentioned, Paul Ben-Victor.
Yeah. There's like a bunch of people in it who is like, oh, it's a that guy. It's a this guy.
And, the guy who played Jonathan Kent, Lois and Clark was on there, too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they just like made me think about that. I was like, oh, I remember this show existing.
It's like not as bad as League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
That movie has like a fondness in my, like, that is a perfect Sunday morning like vacuuming and FX is playing it.
That's fair.
Yeah, like it's just like one of those movies like, oh, and they can never do that comic in its real form.
No, I just feel bad it's like Sean Connery's last role he went out on that.
Well, he only took that role because
he still has done like voiceover role stuff.
Oh, yeah. That Sir Billy, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
That like promote the environment in Scotland. I'm gonna voice a grandpa who like skateboards and everything.
Yeah.
Oh god, I've not seen this.
I've seen the trailer. It is bad. I think they renamed it as Guardian of the Highlands, and it was in the Guardians of the Galaxy font.
But tying it into Highlander.
Or the Highlands. I don't know if they're trying to do a Highlander Guardians of the Galaxy crossover, but it's not good.
Yeah, I remember when for Phantom Zone we watched League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. We were just ripping on racist Irish or Scottish grandpa.
Oh. Oh yeah, he's notably bad at things.
And we talked about how, like, we were talking about how he's the reason we pretty much blamed him for the movie, like, because of how big his salary was for the film. They couldn't afford to get other big names.
In that movie?
Yeah.
God, why would you want to put other big names on that same ship?
I mean, the only big names that I know, and I say big, quote unquote, is like Richard Roxburgh, Jason Fleming, and Shane West.
Yeah, I mean, we all agreed that Nemo was the best character.
Oh,
yeah, I can see that.
Nemo, all the design around all of Nemo's stuff is awesome. But I feel like we're kind of petering out. So I feel like we talked about a bunch of stuff and we don't really need to go into a specific topic, especially since
League
Ryan...
of Extraordinary Gentlemen was directed by the same guy who did Blade?
Yep.
Wow. How the
That's
mighty
why
fell.
we did. That's why Arlen chose to do Blade then League, because
And it's written by the guy who did stuff for like DC. He did a couple of
James
Batman runs.
David Goyer.
no, James Robinson.
No. This is before Goyer got his hands in the comics.
No, Blade was written by David Goyer.
No, I'm talking about League.
No, Extraordinary Gentleman he's talking about was written by James Robinson.
James Robinson, the comic book guy?
Yes.
JSA, James Robinson.
Starman, James Robinson.
Yeah, that James Robinson.
Are you telling me that Cry for Justice, James Robinson?
Yeah.
James Dale Robinson, yep.
Okay.
I think we might have
I was going to say
John.
Rise Mars, no, but I didn't want to prolong this joke.
He also did story of Son of Batman, years after League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Wait, the animated Son of Batman?
Yeah, he did the story by.
Oh, wow. That's it's a fine animated thing, but man, that is a dip in career stuff.
I mean, to be honest, I feel like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was the biggest dip, and so this is a slight uptick.
Well, League of Extraordinary, it's him getting a chance, though.
Yeah.
And he whiffed.
Well, he didn't write the screenplay. He only did the story.
Okay. But, it's one of those properties where it's
The screenplay was written by Joe R. Lansdale.
Yeah, but it's also, again, it's one of those properties where it's well, if you stay true to form, no one's good. It's unwatchable because it's too brutal. No one wants to watch Mr. Hyde rape a guy to death.
Yeah, and no one wants to see the guy who played Bane in Gotham to be Tom Sawyer.
Wait.
Yikes.
Wait, that's the guy that played Bane in Gotham?
Yes.
Okay, I think we need to end the podcast. Because, oh man.
Yeah, he's done A Walk to Remember. He was himself in Ocean's 11. Tom Sawyer, which he was nominated for the Saturn Award for Face of the Future Award. I'm dead serious.
Wow.
Who won that award?
We're gonna find out. Damn it, no one says it. Damn it. I don't know who won that award.
Who was the face of the future of sci-fi in 2003?
I gotta look. Hang on, I gotta look this up now. Face of the Future Saturn 2003. I'm literally looking this up right now because now I'm angry.
Lou,
Mm-hmm.
can you please title this NL Comics Before Sunrise?
Yeah.
Because this is the most after dark.
Oh,
yeah.
Nathan Fillion. That's funny.
Oh, right. They gave it to the right person.
Oh, did they really? Oh, good. Because if it was Shane Black, I would have left. I'd be I'm done. I know.
Yeah. All right. So on that high note,
yeah, this might have been the most
this is the most tangent episode ever, but it's fun.
One more story I just want to talk about real fast is also Monkey Punch died this week. Creator and artist on Lupin the Third, which is one of my favorite animes and of all time.
I didn't realize they made a new one. I just tuned out.
Yeah. So Toonami is showing off Lupin the Third Part 5 in June. It's basically part 1 of 2 of Lupin in Italy. Part 4 is Lupin in Italy also. It's great. It's so good. And it has kind of the art style they've been doing with Lupin with the last couple of years. And Lupin's one of the series you can literally just kind of jump in at any point. As long as you it's the cast is instantly recognizable and likable.
Go watch the movie Miyazaki did. It is incredible.
Yeah, Castello Cagliostro, I believe, is up on Netflix right now. Which is funny because I think it's the version where they call Lupin Wolf instead of Lupin. They're some classic episodes of old Lupin. They're up on Crunchyroll right now. The ones that are directed by Hayao Miyazaki are incredible. A lot of them work as really well. It's just one-off or 3-part episode arcs.
It's such an easy anime and manga to get into.
But if you have Crunchyroll and Funimation, they have longer series. They've done The Woman Called Fujiko Mine is incredible. Lupin is great. I highly recommend it. And the industry is worse for not having Monkey Punch in it. That guy was totally and in his own league. He's his creations were great and he was great.
All right. So quick round of plugs and then we can head out of here. John No H, you want to go first?
Just follow me on Twitter, JamScott193, and I'm bopping around the Phantom Zone comic book movie stuff and everything.
All right. Other John?
You can find me at John JOHN_FN_Seiler SEILER on Twitter. I also have the same handle on Instagram if you want to check me out there. I'm usually talking about comics I've picked up, comics we're releasing, a bunch of other just different stuff. I'm also on another podcast called Legion of Tunes, where we'll be talking about Eltingville Club pretty soon, which is a pilot that Adult Swim did in the early 2000s based on the Evan Dorkin comic of the same name. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm part of Legion of Tunes as well, so is Alan. And then me and Alan also have a podcast where we are rewatching Smallville. We have 2 more episodes left to watch of season 3. And you can check that out on the same stream as this. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to everything. And then Alan does a show for Lost Horror Network too, Lost Horror Games. And you guys had a new episode just come out, right?
Yeah, and we talked about Jedi Fallen Order, the PS5, and the Telltale's definitive edition of The Walking Dead.
All right, so I guess that does it for us, and we'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
There is no way out of here. That is the point of